The Me Too stories of sexual harassment, abuse, and misconduct towards women have shocked the nation in the past few months. But of all the stories, none have been as controversial as the allegations brought against comedian Aziz Ansari. Following an article written in an online magazine, Babe.net, about a complicated date between Ansari and a New York photographer, this story has sparked a worldwide conversation, particularly within the feminist community. Now, a flashpoint of conflicting and interwoven opinions, Ansari's story paints a complex portrait of the power of the Me Too movement and the generational divide that exists among feminists. I had a chance to sit down with one of the women revolutionizing the movement, Paula Mendoza, who will be leading this weekend's Women's March. We began our conversation by discussing her take on the Ansari date debate.
The issue at hand is toxic masculinity. The issue at hand is patriarchy, and both men and women are affected by patriarchy and toxic masculinity. So I'm more interested in having a conversation of how do we resolve toxic masculinity. I want a man that is brave, because it's going to take courage, and vulnerable to come out and say, I have done what Aziz has done. I can guarantee you 99% of all men have done that. That's not to excuse them. That's not to say that that's the way that it should be. That's to identify how deeply entrenched toxic masculinity actually is. It's going to take a courageous man to come out and talk about that and be vulnerable and say, these are my wrong ways. It's also going to take women to put aside our hurt, our pain, our anger of so much of having had dealt with this for years, to listen, to hear, to forgive, and to move forward towards a solution, to start breaking down the ideas and concepts of toxic masculinity. That is the only way. If we tear each other down, like is happening on social media right now, instead of calling each other in, we will not resolve anything, and we will continue to wound one another. And that is not the point of the Women's March, of Me Too, of Time's Up, of this book. We firmly believe in male allies in the Women's March, and we've had them from the beginning. And male allies means having relationships and being in nuanced conversations and moving forward together.
What do you think of recently in one of his stand-up pieces, the comedian Dave Chappelle was, and he's got a lot of problems, I understand that, but he did say that for the women's movement to really flourish, ladies, we're going to have to accept a lot of flawed allies.
I don't think it's about perfection. I don't think it's about being, having all of the answers. I don't have all of the answers, and I'm nervous to talk about this on TV and scared what I might say, because I'm gonna get torn up on Twitter maybe. But I'm brave enough to say, this is how I feel, and I'm open enough to hear you out, and I'm invested enough to have a conversation, a daring discussion, and I'm okay with being uncomfortable. And if anything, this last year has taught us that we have to be okay with being uncomfortable in order to be able to move forward.
Do you take it as a sledgehammer, or do you take more of a scalpel approach? Because again, I go to social media where so many of these conversations are starting to happen, but there seems to be this very sort of like, and I get the passion behind it. I get, that there's a lot of also anger and hurt behind that passion, but this all or nothing feeling from people.
Well, I don't think anything in life is good to be all or nothing. I think absolutism tends to have major flaws. But I also understand that hurt people, and women are hurt. And so I think we also have to be careful of going into this concept of using female anger as a weapon, and it's this bad thing that needs to be tampered down, because we've seen that in the past historically, and that what that does is shut women up and put them right back in their place in the patriarchy. So again, it's about nuance. And I think one of the most dangerous things that Donald Trump has done to us, and he's done a lot of dangerous things, but he's taken away our desire and yearning around nuance, around complexity. It's good or bad. It's black or white. You win, you lose. There's nothing in between. And when we do that, we are completely divided. Versus when we are able to talk about nuance, when we're able to really dig in, that's where we can slowly inch forward towards solutions and slowly inch forward towards breaking down the systemic problem that we're in. Because we also have to realize that I don't want to talk about a rape incident. I want to talk about the rape culture. The rape incident is important for the individual, 100%. I'm not taking away that person's pain. But that incident is not going to resolve the problem. We need to talk about the rape culture that exists. And we're stuck in the incidents right now. And I really want us to push out of that and go to the culture that we're in.
All right, well, I'm looking forward to as we continue to push forward with our uncomfortable conversations. And I thank you so much for being willing to be uncomfortable at Metro Focus with me. Thank you so much, Paula Mendoza.
Thank you.